Through and do a review of factoring. And so what we have here, we've got x squared minus 2x minus 3. So we're going to use our MA chart. We're going to look for two numbers that are multiplied to negative 3, and they're going to add to negative 2. So if I do 1 times negative 3, that gives me negative 3, and when I add them together, that gives me negative 2. So in this case, x plus 1 and x minus 3. Okay, so in our next example, we've got x squared minus 16x. So right now that doesn't look like a trinomial, but because our c value is actually equal to 0, so we're going to put a 0 there at the end. So we're going to do two numbers that multiply to 0 and that add to negative 16. That's going to be 0 and negative 16. So we're going to end up with x plus 0 and x minus 16. Okay, because 0 times negative 16 equals 0, and 0 plus negative 16 adds to negative 16. In the example that we have down here, we've got a trickier trinomial in the sense that the a value is not equal to positive 1. So what we need to do actually is first divide out everything by that a value. So the a value doesn't just disappear, it has to go somewhere. So when we do this piece, we got to put that 6 out front. You end up with 6 squared plus 10x plus 144 divided by 6, which is 24. So now we got a trinomial here in brackets, and we can solve for that. So two numbers that multiply to 24 and that add to positive 10. So 1 and 24 gives us 25. 2 and 12 gives us 14. 3 and 8, that gives us 11. 4 and 6, that gives us 10. Okay, so this has to be 6 times x plus 4 times x plus 6. And then the last example, somewhat similar. Again, we don't have all three things. We're missing actually the b value. So let's write this out as a trinomial. We have negative 3x squared plus 0x plus 48. Okay. Now, because our a value is not positive 1, we have to divide out everything by the a value. So we're going to divide all of them by the a value. And so I'm going to bring that negative 3 out front. That's going to leave me with x squared plus 0x. And then 48 divided by negative 3 is going to give me negative 16. Okay. Now, because our b value is equal to 0, we know that we can take the square root of the c value, and that'll be our factors. So the square root of that is going to be 4 and negative 4. So we end up having, I should put equal sign in. We end up having x plus 4 and x minus 4. Okay. So the important thing to remember about factoring is that you're always looking for two numbers that are going to multiply to the c value and that are going to add to the b value. And if the a value is not positive 1, you have to divide every term by the a value. And then always write things out as a trinomial.